Three, two, one. Welcome back, beloved. I'm Gordon McGee, and this is the No Pills Podcast, Love Fully Scripted. And today, feeling lonely in your 30s. Plus, we even throw the plus in there, the plus sign. Friends, is real. And today, we're going to be talking about tips, tricks, advice, and the realities of being lonely in your 30s. Let's get into it. So today, friends, I was scouring the internet in preparation for what we do over here at No Pills, and I ran across a video from a woman who was giving some advice about how to deal with being lonely in your 30s. And I just wanted to share this with you, have some dialogue, let's chop it up. I thought there was some good practical tips here that I would like to share with my listeners. So without further ado, let's roll that beautiful footage.
Being single in your 30s is really tough. I hear you. I did it. I was single through most of my 30s. I dated someone for like 2 years of them. It is hard when everyone is getting married that you know and people you don't know because you see it on social media or wherever. What I did to be happy is literally choose things every single day that made me happy. So maybe it was grabbing coffee from my favorite coffee shop, or it was going for a walk and listening to my favorite podcast. And I also increased my friend group. And so I didn't just have very, very close friends. I had acquaintances who were also single and we had a good time together. So we would go out. I just built up my social calendar so much that I didn't feel like I was missing out and I had things to look forward to. And I think that's a huge part of it. I'm not going to tell you the sadness or loneliness is going to go away because it definitely creeps up. But the more you build a life that makes you happy, the less lonely it gets. And I am still single, by the way. And I hear you. You've got this and you're going to be just fine.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let me first address that waste of 2 years of your life. Now, I know someone's going to say, hey, man, you learned something. You grew as a person. That relationship, it is what it is. You take no losses. You live, you learn. That's cool. But don't waste 2 years of my life, friends. Ladies, listen, don't do that to me. I'm not trying to do that to you. 2 years? My friend here has been in a relationship, in a full-blown relationship for 2 years, and it didn't turn into marriage? Come on, man. We couldn't have figured that out year one. We couldn't figure that out year one? Come on. We've got to do better, friends. You in your 30s playing around. Let's get that figured out in the first 6 months or so. Is this thing real? Is it going anywhere? 2 years and we not married? I mean, not terrible, but let's do the math, friends. If you get courted by 5 people, if you court 5 people, 2-year clips each, and it doesn't work out, you are now 40. You are now 50. That's 10 years. You dig me? 2 years. I don't have 2 years to give to somebody for no good reason, just to be wasting my time. Nah, man, let's figure that out in the first 6 months to a year, if this thing is going to marriage or not. Let me know down in the comments, man, if you think 2 years is too long to be playing around with somebody, to not be married. And I hate to use this. You shouldn't be playing around, but you get what I'm saying to you. It's tough, man. It's tough being older and single. Just a reality. This is what it is. And I was kind of, not shocked, but the way the modern dating culture is, and everyone, what feminism has done, it's almost surprising sometimes to hear people even admit that they're lonely or that they want to be with someone. Sometimes we put up a front. I know many people out there say, yeah, that's because as you get older, and particularly speaking about women, hey, when you're young and you're beautiful, you can be with anybody you want and it's all fabulous. And then if you miss that window to be married and you sleep around and then you hit the wall, as they say, and now you're just sad and lonely. But hey, man, there's 30-year-old men in that category too. So there are older people who are lonely. And I don't know how much, social media technology is really helping us to feel less lonely. I think a lot of the reports and studies you see will prove the opposite, that we're more isolated. We feel lonelier. There's more depression and anxiety going on in our culture. How about that? It may be because, as she mentioned, it's hard seeing other people get married You're in this comparison dilemma where it's like, man, I'm not caught up. Why am I not married? I didn't have a vacation or a destination wedding. I, I'm behind the curve. Oh my goodness. And you just feel this pressure. Look, I'm going to tell you something like Facebook, friends. I don't like Facebook. I'm not a fan of Facebook. And here's why. It's emotionally draining for me. I just think all the people that you find out everything about their lives all the time. Who's getting married, who's dying, who's having a baby, who's mad at their boyfriend or girlfriend, who's getting a divorce. It's just a lot of emotional baggage. Like where you feel like, man, do I need to respond to everything that I see and give words of encouragement, or can I just swipe past this? Is there another birthday? It's just, I think it's a lot emotionally because I think it's not natural, because in the real world, in the natural world, you only have so many people you're going to actually see, meet, or talk to on a daily basis. So you don't have all this pressure to keep up with what's going on in their lives. You can manage 4 or 5 people, maybe 6 people in your friend group, 10 people plus family. But you start getting to the hundreds and thousands. It's just like, this burnout. I remember when I first got on Facebook for ministry, I was, oh man, this is great connecting with people. Actually, I had gotten on to be able to tell everybody that my wife had passed away. And I remember thinking, oh man, yeah, I know when people's birthdays are, I want to say happy birthday to everybody, blah, blah, blah. Listen, friends. Yeah, that honeymoon quickly was over. I'm like, I'm not saying, I don't have time to sit here and say happy birthday to everybody all day, every day. It's just not, my little fanciful, delusional ideas of being a social media friend quickly faded away. I'm like, man, I don't have time for this. And to all my friends listening who may see this, I love you, but you're good, bro. Like I don't, sis, you're good. I don't post my birthday, so it's cool. You don't have to comment on my stuff. I just, does this aid in the feeling of loneliness by seeing everybody else not be lonely in your friend group and in your connections? Just saying. What I like that she spoke about here is that she chose to do things daily. This is good. This was good. That made her happy. That gave her encouragement. Like she didn't stay in her apartment. It became a cloister and she didn't go. She was intentional about getting out. Activities, going to her favorite beverage spot and so forth and so on, taking walks, getting out, listening to podcasts, getting out behind your 4 walls. I mean, this is tough sometimes. You're at work and maybe you're tired after work, but you're feeling lonely. Are you going to make the effort to actually get out? I thought this was a good tip. I thought this was very practical. And then she just added to it with the concept of expanding the friend group. Now, this is something that I think maybe social media could actually help, maybe like a little Facebook or something, where you could actually maybe, and I don't know, there's kind of like these unwritten rules on Facebook. I don't know if you're just allowed to friend anybody and everybody. I know it gets a little weird with people, but you technically could start to friend people, meet people, expand those people in friend groups, maybe even join like some type of hobby thing you got going on, some type of group outside, just expanding the circle of friends. And then there's that whole 6 degrees of separation thing that's going to happen too, right? Which could be pretty cool. If you keep doing that, eventually you should start to meet more people who know more people. And that's what Facebook's already doing for you. As an example, I like this idea. I like this concept. I actually think I've been embracing this concept in my own life. Like not so much looking for a spouse, but looking to extend my friend group, bring more people into that circle of that I know, that know me and I know them. And if something were to come out of that, thumbs up, let's go. And just getting acquainted with people, right? Increasing your acquaintances and your socializing. You have to be intentional about this. Building up a social calendar. I love this fact as well. I love this tip as well. Giving yourself something to look forward to. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to this thing, that thing, this activity, this poetry thing, this concert, whatever you got going on, whatever's going on in your life. For me, I'm always down for some religious events, some religious activities, some get-togethers. But nevertheless, filling up your calendar with those activities. So you're being super proactive, not just sitting back, expecting people, I don't know, somehow to pour through your windows and through the doors of your house or apartment. That's just not going to happen. That's not reality. So combat the loneliness with friendliness, right? If you want to make friends, you must show yourself friendly. Owner's Manual giving us some deep insights there, some practical principles of how to be and meet people. You got to get out and do it. Sadness and loneliness still may occur in doing all of this. I love that. I thought that was fabulous. You still may just have moments of like, man, I'm just so lonely. And be honest, and sometimes the more you go out, right, the more you realize that you're single. Yeah. So this is not, well, maybe it's foolproof, but it doesn't come free of any type of pain or it's not detached from reality, right? You're going to go out, maybe you're more active, and unless you are specifically joining singles groups, then you might going to run into seeing more couples and people finding their people, but they may know somebody who's single. And furthermore, I think about this whole running thing that was going on with singles with joining run groups in the morning or in the evening. I mean, hey, that's not a bad idea. A couple thousand people going to run together. You're exercising, killing a few birds with one stone. I like it. I dig it. Maybe find a group you can go running with if that's your thing. But the loneliness is not necessarily going to go away, even if you're doing all these things. I love the fact that she brought that out. And then kind of on a sad note, she ends by saying, yeah, I'm still single. Mercy. Why? Right in the heart, man. Oh, that's terrible. That was just like, man, kind of felt sad for her. And let's be honest. I wonder if any of us were kind of judging her like, man, why are you still single? What's wrong with you? Are you broken? What's happening? Happens. But she could be absolutely all right. Maybe she just has not found her person yet. But it seems like she wants to be married or in a relationship. She's doing all these things over like the last, I think she's not in her 40s anymore. Right? I mean, she's not in her 30s anymore, right? Or something like that. So she's been at it for a little while. But I like the fact that she's still encouraged and wanted to encourage others. Let's read a few of the comments on this video. Valley Rogue says, I have recently been feeling like a leftover woman at 35 and alone. Always was in long-term relationships, serious relationships, but those unfortunately ended. Oh, right there again. How much time was wasted, friends? Don't do that to me. Don't do that to people. Get it together. Always in long-term serious relationships with the S at the end, like none of those worked out, but those unfortunately ended. But I also see women who did the right thing, quote unquote, in getting married and having kids. Now they are divorced. Mercy. And the children grew up and moved on. They ended up alone after all. I'm just trying to remember that starting a nuclear family holds no long-term promises of companionship or stability. Man, this is cold, friends. Mercy. People are disenchanted with marriage. I don't even know if I can. All right, I have to agree. Marriage does not guarantee long-term companionship or stability. I hate to say it, but people are finicky, man. Hearts are wicked. They are sinful. Someone would tell you I do, and they don't. Make it make sense. Why waste my time and my life? Wow. And now they are divorced and children grew up and moved away. She's basically saying in the end, it doesn't really matter. We're in the same boat. We're in the same place. You did it the right way, quote unquote. I did not do it the right way. And yet we're both here in our 30s, single, but you have kids and you're a divorcee. Wow. It's cold-blooded, man. I don't even know if I have a good response to this other than do the due diligence and find the right person who has the same intrinsic and moral values as you and who takes the marriage vows at a serious level, at a God level. That will mitigate some of the risk that goes into it. I believe, I think there was some corrections I've heard about reports saying that, divorce was 50% in the marriage and in the church and outside of the church. But I think I've heard and read some recent reports that that's not completely accurate, that those in religious circles and are married longer and actually are a little healthier. Next comment from Steve B88. I've been married and divorced in my late 20s. No kids. Shout out to you, Steve. I am now 35 and have been single ever since and plan to stay that way. Trust me when I say this, you're not missing anything. Man, we really don't like marriage out here. Find things in life that make you happy and bring your joy and live for you. Okay, Steve, I disagree with you. I believe that a person cannot achieve and experience true happiness and love only living for themselves. Nature attests to this. Everything in nature dies or gives so that something else can live. Human beings are the only species, only creature on earth that comes along and can decide, no, I'm going to be selfish and just live for myself. I want to submit to you, Steve, that even disease and sickness and mental health issues can stem from being selfish and just living for yourself. There's no happiness in that. But I would imagine that your divorce has left a very bad taste in your mouth and you want nothing to do with it. And are probably finding more joy and commitment in being alone or contentment in being alone. But I will say this to you. I truly enjoyed being married, and it was not free from trial, though. There were times I wanted to give up. There were times I wanted to call it quits because I didn't want to change. I'm going to be honest with you, friends. I didn't want to make the necessary changes. So versus making the necessary changes, you punk out and you want to throw in the towel. But looking back over the course of my marriage, it was the best thing. One of the best things that ever happened to me in my life. And I wish I would have gleaned more from it, appreciated it more, leaned into self-sacrificing love and dying to self so I could have reaped the full benefit of the marriage, union, and institution. You hear what I'm saying? Let's get to this next comment. Kiki says, for those who are single and without kids in their 30s and 40s, don't be too sad. I am 43, married, one child, and I have never felt so lonely or sad in my life as I do now. Nothing is easy when it comes to relationships. We have to make ourselves happy. No one else will give that to us. I would like to piggyback on this, okay? A lot of times we look to our spouses to fulfill a void that only God can fulfill in us. Does that make sense? A lot of times we look to our spouses to fulfill and fill a void that only God can fulfill in us. So while your spouse is there and supposed to be your helpmate to complete you, complete the image of God, praise the Lord, they're still not God, right? They're another human being that has their own ups and downs. They're all trials that go through depression, that go through feeling happy and feeling sad. And if you're looking solely to them, I would say this to you, to them at all, to make you whole, you're looking in the wrong direction. You're putting your attention and your hope in an arm that will fail you. No matter how much they love you, they can, and a lot of times they will fail you because they're human, friends, because they are human. Next comment. Love this comment, by the way. Being single is hard. A relationship is hard. Raising kids is hard. Having no kids is hard. At the end of the day, life is not always peaches and cream. Just pick your battles. Wow. Some wisdom right there. If that ain't the truth, Ruth. Shout out to this comment. What a practical, realistic insight. It is what it is. What in life is going to be easy? What in life that's worth having is easy? I mean, muscles just don't show up without any pain. You know? She's on to something. That's Shiva. All right, Shiva. Go ahead and dropping bombs on us. Hey, women that I'm meeting in 30s, 40s, they kind of fall into a few categories, I think. They're boss babes. Some of them are boss babes. They are hardworking, career-focused, career-centered, career-oriented, and maybe not so much family-oriented. And do I even fit into that equation? Do I want to deal with that? Is that the type of character and of a woman that I want, or characteristics of a woman that I want? One is a boss babe. Then you have those who are divorced in our age group. And as you can see from some of the comments we read, they're not too happy with relationships, don't trust relationships, and not too fond of marriage. Then you got those who are divorced with kids, which is like maybe a double whammy potentially, because they could be sour about the relationships and then are still trying to heal from their wounds just as a divorced person, and that is a layer of children involved, which means there's a baby mother, baby father. Then there's those who are just looking to get married ASAP, as fast as possible, because they want to have children. So if I'm not of the mindset or the desire to have children, then that group is out. And then there are those who have never been married, okay, who are legitimate virgins. There are some of them out there, friends. And you have to just make sure that you're aligned correctly. And a lot of them, 30s, even into the 40s, are still, some women are still trying to have children, still want to have kids. So it's possible. Like there's a range. I mean, I've run into these different kind of women. And a lot of, let me say this too. The virgins are in church settings, friends, just so we know. Men, if you're listening, my brothers, if you're listening, in church settings, man, because most men listen to my podcast. They're in church settings, friends. They're not out in the world. They're not in large cities, in clubs. I shouldn't have to tell you that, but I'm not saying it's not an outlier out there, but I just think any woman, why would I want to marry a woman who's running around half naked, showing her booty on Instagram and in the streets? That's not wifey material, friends. Friends, I would like to just appeal to the reality of what it is to be single and lonely or feeling lonely in your 30s and maybe your 40s. Your community has changed. Your community is changing. When you were in your 20s, there was college, there were friends, high school, 16, 18, 19. There was more people in your age group to find and to be found. As you mature, get older, start working, that community shrinks down. That group just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, sometimes to the point where you're only seeing your coworkers. Meanwhile, everyone else around you is getting married, is moving on. Not saying that they're going to have a successful marriage, 50% chance. But there are those who are successfully married, live a very long time together, have children, become grandparents, etc. So here are some words of encouragement I want to leave with you from the owner's manual. Let your conversation be without covetousness, not desiring what others have, and be content with the things or such things as you have. And why, friends? For he have said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Hebrews 13, verse 5. I'm Gordon McGee. This is the No Pills Podcast, Love Fully Scripted. And I'm signing off, and I'll catch you next week.